So we are back with rebooking Jeff Hardy. This time, rebooking him in 2021 now. Seems like Jeff Hardy's kind of back and forth. He's like on TV, he's a jobber. They want to push him, they don't want to push him. It's really weird what they're doing with him on Monday Night Raw. But what we'll do is very different now. If you watched the previous video of rebooking Jeff Hardy in 2020, you should know that Jeff Hardy was in the main event scene with Roman Reigns at TLC, which unfortunately leads to a big injury. And Jeff Hardy is off TV, so much so that he will miss out of WrestleMania Nuclear Heel Heat. Now, I decided to keep WrestleMania the exact same way just for this video alone. We're keeping WrestleMania the exact same way. Edge wins the Rumble. We do that triple threat match, which is awesome. The Fiend returns to attack Randy Orton. And this is going to be the only thing I change. And it's plain and simple. The Fiend beats Randy Orton cleanly. We have the Fiend win. And he remembers the kind of character that he is. So he is happy that he is back. And he's very excited because even though he squashed Randy Orton and he's happy with Alexa and he's ready to extend his family and bring in another demon. Now we do not know if we're gonna debut somebody else. There's talks that maybe Karrion Kross could be it. It doesn't matter. But for the sake of this video, we're gonna make it Jeff Hardy. We'll get to that part later. But the night after WrestleMania, it is announced that a former WWE champion is set to change the game and come back. So it's announced like who is going to be this mysterious former WWE champion that's coming back. Is it Jeff Hardy? He's going to come back to Monday Night Raw. Maybe Chris Jericho signed off his deal from AEW. Who knows who is it going to be? And the answer is Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal comes out, says that he's going to change the game. He's going to be champion once again. He's going after all the belts he needs. He's a changed man. He is better, stronger, faster than ever. And then Adam Pearce is excited that Jinder is back, but he announces that there's more talent to come on Monday Night Raw, and that is when Jeff Hardy comes out, attacks Jinder Mahal, and then the next week it's set that it's going to be Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal in a one-on-one match, with Jeff Hardy winning, just like a big ruse, and Jeff Hardy is winning. He is happy. They do a backstage interview with him, talking about how this is a new change for him. SmackDown may have been where he became a single star, but Monday Night Raw is the top brand, and he's going to make sure that he is one of the top faces. And that is when the lights go out briefly. Alexa Bliss's playground is on the ring and talks to Jeff Hardy, talk about how he is not the reason why he will never be at the top is because he doesn't embrace who he is. And it is kind of cynical and true in the sense that yes, Jeff Hardy had a dark past with his drug and alcohol abuse, but he really doesn't like to talk about it as much or own up like, yeah, I did drugs, but guess what? I better myself and I made myself who I am. And it's rare that we tell that story. We could tell similar stories with Jeff Hardy, but we could tweak him out a little bit. Now, if you remember in the bar fight where he had with Sheamus in this scenario, Jeff Hardy brought back Will-O-the-Wisp. That is the one time that Jeff Hardy embraced his Will-O-the-Wisp character. And that was the only time because that was his him embracing that he could be a monster inside. That is very important. So it's set that it's going to be... So Alexa Bliss is continuously terrorizing... he's continuously terrorizing Jeff Hardy, but Jeff Hardy doesn't care. And then following what's it called, the Backlash, my bad, following WrestleMania Backlash, we do on number one contendership match for the WWE Championship. Now, instead of doing Drew McIntyre versus Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley at Backlash, instead we'll just do Bobby and Braun loser leaves town because Braun Strowman gets released anyways. So let's do that instead. And then Drew McIntyre, you can say that he got injured at WrestleMania, so he wasn't eligible to compete. But we're gonna do a fatal 5-way with former WWE champions in this match. It's gonna be AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston, Sheamus, and Randy Orton. Those 5. Basically, they fight. Jeff Hardy's in the match. It looks like he's gonna be the one that's gonna win until the Fiend and Alexa Bliss terrorize him. He's just like, what the hell is going on? And oh, by the way, this is going to be an elimination match. So because he's a heel, we'll have Sheamus eliminate him. Eventually, the final 2 will be. We'll make it Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston because I want Kofi Kingston to win, and then Drew McIntyre could take some time off or something. Or if you want to do Drew McIntyre, it's fine. It doesn't matter. But the point is, Jeff Hardy loses. Jeff Hardy goes on and says that he wants the Fiend, but he doesn't want him in any match. He wants him inside Hell in a Cell. And since he wants Will-O-the-Wisp so bad, he brought his inner demon. It's Will-O-the-Wisp versus the Fiend inside Hell in a Cell. And the match is just balls to the walls, just crazy, but it's no match to the Fiend. So the Fiend beats Jeff Hardy, and he decides to form a bond. It's Jeff Hardy, Alexa Bliss, and the Bray Wyatt, the Firefly family backstage. We'll see a bunch of segments of them just interacting. We're gonna do therapy-like segments where Jeff Hardy is just like laying on a couch. Bray Wyatt's taking notes of why Jeff Hardy's not the same, and it's just because he's not embracing who he once was. And Jeff Hardy is more cynical and just more crazier. So much so that when he does come back to the ring, he doesn't hit the Swanton Bomb. He just beats the crap out of whoever he's facing. And there is that. And around this time, AJ Styles and Omos are kicking ass. So at SummerSlam, we're doing AJ Styles and Omos versus Jeff Hardy and The Fiend, with Omos getting injured by The Fiend. Jeff Hardy pins AJ Styles 2 SummerSlams in a row where he pins AJ Styles. And now they're the tag team champions. They go on a terrorized streak going after everybody, all the tag teams, the War Raiders, Lucha House Party. If they come to Raw, maybe the Street Profits and whoever, the Alpha Academy, every tag team possible. And then around this time, Randy Orton and Matt Riddle are forming a bond. Instead of doing it right away, we'll do it like midway through the fall. And eventually, Randy Orton and Matt Riddle team up, and they face the Firefly family. And you guessed it, Randy Orton and Matt Riddle, Team RK Bro, beat Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. But don't worry, they'll lose them immediately to either the War Raiders or the New Day or the Street Profits, because I don't think Matt Riddle and Randy Orton should be tag team champions for long. This will just be them leading to a singles match at WrestleMania, WrestleMania 38, and whichever night it is, where Randy Orton will finally get a victory over Matt Riddle. I think Matt Riddle is going to be the more over star, but around this point, if Randy Orton could use some WrestleMania victories, because Randy Orton doesn't win that much at WrestleMania, so this could be a great way to give him at least a victory. But that's not the point. Around this time, Jeff Hardy wants to be the WWE champion once again because he finally embraced who he is, and he asked The Fiend or Bray Wyatt if he could be in the Royal Rumble, and Bray's like, no. Are you insane? No, because you are not meant to be in the main event. And Jeff Hardy says, yes, I am. And because I know who I am. So he leaves the Firefly family. Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss are upset. All the puppets are mad. And then the Fiend pops out and destroys the entire Firefly Funhouse since Jeff won't listen. So, anyways, Jeff Hardy enters the Royal Rumble. He makes it to the final four, but then the Fiend gets mad, attacks Jeff Hardy, and eliminates him from the Royal Rumble. That's important. And then Jeff Hardy realizes that there's nothing that he can do except take down the Fiend. And then if he does, then he'll be ready. So at WrestleMania, it's going to be Jeff Hardy versus the Fiend in some sort of stipulation that makes sense. But this is where we'll say goodbye to the Fiend and say hello to a new Jeff Hardy who will destroy the Fiend, and Jeff Hardy wins yet again. And that is how I would book Jeff Hardy. I could continue on with how I would book him in 2022 if you like, but that's basically it for this rebooking. If you want to see how I would rebook him in 2022, fine, but this is so far what I got for him. Anyways, it's me, the ALE Double X Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And until then, I'm out.